evening, race fans, and welcome to the V8's online coverage of the iRacing V8 Supercar Series. We're broadcasting to you tonight live and in glorious high definition with support from the V8 Supercar Fan Group, Direct Clutch Services, and the V8's online Superstore. Here to you tonight for final qualifying from Oran Park. I'm Leo Gray, and with me in the booth tonight, Stephen Sandman Clark. How are you doing, Sandman?
Good, buddy. How are you?
Yeah, looking forward to another exciting week of racing. We had an explosive race last week at Okayama, and now we move on to what we could call home soil, Sydney's Oran Park Raceway.
There was all sorts of drama last week, didn't we? Never really knew what was going to happen. There was a lot of fuel saving, but we can scrap that this week. It's a full, flat-out sprint race. And of course, we also get a little bit excited for iRacing when we head to a local track. Of course, we're fortunate enough to have three of them on the calendar now, but like you said, it's Oran Park's turn, and we've got 34 laps. Should be an absolute ripper.
Going to be completely different to last week, isn't it? An intense little motor race we're going to have tonight, because of course it's a tough little circuit, and it's going to be a flat-out sprint. So
the qualifying times have been pretty close. We'll touch on that a little bit later on too. But from the look of the times and everyone that loves this place, I think we're in for an absolute ripper of a round.
Oh, qualifying's so important, isn't it? That's what we're going to be covering for you right now. But why don't we have a bit of a look at this Oran Park circuit? We're going to have a familiar name, Jay Kennedy, who's going to be taking us around this wonderful little venue. How are you, Jay?
Hey boys, it didn't take me long to get back, did it?
No.
Couldn't keep you away.
Oh, trying to get my foot in the door. I need catering. Apparently I ate too many pies. So if you watch the truck series, you know what I'm talking about. Hello, Mr. Korolev.
What's it like being back behind the driver's seat, Jay?
I've actually loved it this week. Did a development series race on that Tuesday night. Had a ball. Started mid-pack. Back to last by turn one and come back through the field to 13th. So that was good fun. Last night I somehow grabbed a pole position in a second place, and then in the late race last night had a really good battle with a couple of guys and finished sixth, being the lowest car in the grid. So it's been a really fun week, and I'm loving driving this car again. Never thought I'd say it.
We've been holding you back, mate, locking you in the commentary box, but it's good to see you back on track, and you're sporting a new paint scheme there too.
Yeah, bit of a paint scheme myself and teammate Renz Brookman. Renz has been painting the skin over the last couple of days, so supporting Movember. So I am doing Movember, so I'd love for some people out there to donate some money to my terrible, ugly caterpillar on my top lip. So if you are wanting to donate, mobro.co/V8s online J, and you can donate some money to me, even if it's 50 cents, I don't mind. Because at the moment my tally's looking quite poor, and I'd like a bit more money. So yeah, it does go to a good cause. So supporting men's health charities throughout Australia.
Going to be keeping us updated as to how that mo's going of yours, Jay, through the month?
I cannot wait for the 1st of December. I've done Movember for the last 4 years, and this year's the first year I've absolutely hated it. So yeah, no, it's good fun though to do it a bit of a good cause and a bit of a laugh around the workplace as well.
So, why don't you show us around this Oran Park venue, Jay?
Well, I'd love to say that this is going to be a hot lap, but it's definitely not. So very far off the pace, and I've just been thrown a brand new setup, so this could end in absolute tears. But trying to get a wide entry into the final corner and not get too loose on exit. Really hard to get the power down through the final corner, up through the gears. We'll get to 6th using the current ratio we're using before turn 1, and then it's absolute commitment late on the brakes. Then back to 2nd gear for turn 2. Trying not to get sideways through the 1st turn. Again, trying to get the power on as early as possible, but you've got to feather the throttle. Up in the 4th, well, it's a really tough rhythm section of this track. This is where you can make or break your lap time. Really tough up here over the bridge. Now we come up to the blind section of the track. You really have to commit to your apex really early before you can see it. Up over the bridge, car almost gets on 2 wheels with the power down. Almost on the limiter in 3rd. Through this section you have to try and cut as much curb as you can. Short shift to 4th there for me to not get too much wheel spin. And into the most difficult but most fun part of the track, through the flip-flop, all sideways. Kept it on track there somehow. And into the final corner, missed that apex there, but that's a pretty terrible lap at Oran Park, but it did beat my goal. I'm going to get a 108.
Nice work there, Jay. It's an exciting little place, isn't it? And exciting lap. What's it like to race here at Oran Park?
It's tough. That's the only word that you can describe. It's really hard to concentrate. Only 34 laps, so it's a fairly short race, but it's really hard to maintain the concentration levels, especially if you're in a group of cars. Really hard to pass. So if you have got a good quick track through this rhythm section here, it's really hard for the car behind you to get past. So you can really make your car nice and wide at all the right important places. Something I'm pretty good at, being slow. So yeah. Good track though, good fun.
What about grip, mate? I've heard different things from different drivers. There's probably not a lot of grip out there because obviously before the place was scanned for iRacing, it had been a little while before it had been sort of resurfaced. But depending on setup, I know a couple of people are struggling with grip.
Asked me yesterday, I would have said, wow, there's no grip at all at this place, but Mr. Brookman's managed to find something miraculous overnight while I was sleeping, and has sent me something amazing today, and I found a bit more time. So I'd say the grip levels really come down to a bit of setup work. In saying that, there's still none.
Well, that's clear as mud.
All of that is definitely what's going to make.
I should be a politician, shouldn't I, mate?
Well handled, Jay. Well handled.
No worries, thank you.
Thanks
I'd say I'm
for
here
that.
all day. No, thanks. That's actually the first time I've ever done it, and now I won't pick on anyone for ever having a bad lap during a hot lap, because that's a lot harder than I thought.
Hey, one thing you got going for you, mate, you didn't stick it in the fence like a couple of people
Yeah,
that we won't mention.
Who, Brad Ryan? I had to say it, didn't I?
Well, you did, yeah.
Yeah, well, I can say it because I'm now a driver again. But
Yeah, that's right.
yeah, I was actually worried I was going to put it in the fence. So, no, that was good.
And so thanks once again, Jay. That was
No
a lap
worries.
of Oran Park.
Thanks,
We
guys.
wish you all the best for the race tonight. I think we're going to be touching in and seeing how your event's going.
Yeah, no, I'll be way back in third or fourth or maybe even fifth split. So you won't be seeing me for any more tonight. So good luck to all the guys out the front, and it should be a good race. It'll be a good fun track.
Yeah, good luck with it, mate. Wishing you well.
Thanks, guys.
All the best, mate. Talk to you later.
No worries.
Right, so only 1 week in, but let's have a look at the championship standings. We had a massive points haul last week from Okayama, a very strong field. I think it was actually a record, and it was Josh Muggleton who came away with the victory and is currently going to be leading the standings.
Yeah, absolute ripper. I think a lot of us were quite overwhelmed when we saw the points haul. It was good to see that many people taking part, and the racing was sensational. Obviously, there was a little bit of an incident there towards the later stages of the race that affected the outcome, but overall, it was a great race to watch, and I know a couple of people would be fairly disappointed, but a good start to Muggleton's championship defence, and I think he'd be fairly happy with that. I know he didn't want to win it in those circumstances, but at the end of the day, a win's a win, and it was another 1-2 for Tats.com.
That's right. It's a perfect way to start your championship defence, but still a long way to go left in this season, and everything can change from here. This is going to be a very different event. It's going to be a fast and furious race tonight, and we're going to move on to qualifying now, which is going to be very crucial. It's a critical element for this race because of how tough it is to pass, and we've seen some really, really tight times so far already in the week.
Yeah, the one thing too you touched on that's tough to pass here. So one of the tricky things too is with guys that are on a fast lap, the guys that are actually trying to move out of the way and give the guys space. It's a tricky place to get out of the way in some places too. So that's going to be a critical element come qualifying.
Oh, it's a difficult place to qualify at for sure. We've only really got that one long main straight, but everywhere else on the circuit, you're pretty well constantly turning. And as you said there, Sandman, it's going to be a lot of it's going to come down to getting a clean lap, which isn't the easiest thing in the world here. Fortunately, though, it is a quick little lap, so it could work out for some people. Shouldn't be too long now until we can actually get some drivers out for the final qualifying session of the event. It's already been a pretty tight battle at the top for pole position. At the moment, it seems like we've got Josh Muggleton and Madison Down, the Tats.com teammates, who are fighting for the front row start.
There's not a lot in it, is there, for the rest of the field? But yeah, really interested to see how it all plays out. Oran Park's a big favourite to everyone at iRacing, especially all the Aussie fans and all the rest of it. So really interested to see how it all plays out.
So currently sitting, of course, week 2 for this 12-week season. So this is 34 laps of Oran Park, and got a lot of exciting stops after this one. Next week we head to Road Atlanta, which laid host to an exciting race last season. Phillip Island, another favourite of ours. We've got Interlagos, and then week 6. This is the big one that we're all looking forward to. Mount Panorama.
Yeah.
Can't wait for that one.
Mate,
But,
we thought the excitement was high when we had it in Race of Champions. To have it part of our official championship now is it's fantastic.
Oh, it's the event that everyone's looking forward to, and to actually be racing there for points is going to be amazing, isn't it?
You're not wrong.
A lot of fantastic tracks in the second half of the season, though. We've got Road America, Laguna Seca, Brands Hatch Grand Prix, Watkins Glen Cup Circuit, Virginia International Raceway, and we're going to round out the season with the beautiful Circuit Gilles Villeneuve in Montreal.
So what I'm interested, the Watkins Glen Cup section. It's an interesting little cut, through the bus stop chicane, and really easy to get a little off track as you try and get hungry through the curbs. And of course, one thing everyone has to think about now, everyone's you got sort of Big Brother watching now, where if you get, I think it's 17 off tracks, you get a disqualification from the series. So everyone's got to be fairly careful about that. So that'll be really interesting come round 10.
That's right. The stewards are going to be clamping down on driving standards. That means if you're getting too much contact, if you're dropping the wheels off the track too many times, do too much of that and you'll find yourself sitting on the sidelines. So we've got a very high standard of driving here in this top level of iRacing, but still something that the guys are going to have to keep their eye on.
You're not wrong. I think it's a nice little feature actually to our championship. I know there's, you can't get away with cheating as such in this series. If you cut across tracks and all the rest of it, and you cut corners, you do get your slowdown penalties. But this is just sort of one little extra element where guys have to be really cautious about where they place their car through those chicanes. So I think by the time round 10 comes around, I think hopefully most of the drivers will be on top of it. But you never know; it could play a major outcome in the final race. You just don't know.
Yeah, well, the important thing is it's the same rules for everybody, so no one's got anything to complain about. Everyone's racing on the exact same terms, and it just means that people might have to keep the nose clean. Maybe think a little bit about not punting that guy off in front of you when you're getting frustrated, because you might get disqualified for it.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Rightio. Should be just about ready to load into qualifying here. This will be the final qualifying session before the race tonight. And you're going to have a lot of drivers very eager to see if they can make up any ground on their current starting spots, because, as we touched on before, high starting position is so critical here at Oran Park.
Of course, a number of the drivers would be pretty keen to annoy those two guys at the top, Josh Muggleton and Madison Down, who currently have P1 and 2. But there's not much in it. You see Richard Hampstead or 105.9, not much in it there. Dean O'Brien, Renz Brookman is your top 5. Var Riches in 6th, Sean Kelly 7th, Paul Gallen in 8th, Lee Ellis in 9th, and Brad Ryan running at your top 10. So let's hope that Brad Ryan has a bit more luck joining the race this time round after his sensational qualifying effort last week and missed out on the sub split.
Yeah, wasn't that a story? Well, he did get a victory out of the night, though, so hopefully that should have improved his iRating standing enough to get him into the main game here. But yeah, that was a bit of a blunder, but hopefully we won't see that
provided
repeated.
He behaved himself through the week.
Yeah, that's right too.
Yeah, you got to feel for him, don't you? He did all that effort and put out a sensational lap, and only get to miss out by only a couple of points, on 6 points in the end or something like that. So, no doubt he's done his homework and he's all ready to go for this week.
Just how it falls sometimes, isn't it? One thing I did want to touch on, though, as much as we've been talking about how crucial this qualifying is, I was having a look back through the stats for the previous events we've had here. Madison Down has been our pole sitter for the last 3 events, and he has finished 2nd each time. So you don't have to be on pole position to win, but of course it's going to help, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. When we especially touched on the difficulty of passing at this racetrack, a couple of different undulations and bumps around this racetrack, and depending on your setup, as Jay touched on, it plays a big part as far as trying to get the traction down and your grip level around this place. So many things can unfold. We thought we were going to have a pretty straightforward race last week, and then you saw what happened in the closing laps. So, and this is only qualifying.
Well, it's a busy racetrack, so it's going to be a difficult thing for all these drivers to manage. We've seen how tough it is with that hot lap from Jay, and now can you imagine having 25 V8 Supercars on there at the same time? It's going to be intense.
I think I'm happy I'm up here in the commentary box tonight.
Yeah, we'll leave Jay to have all the fun.
Yeah.
Right, so we'll jump into this qualifying session. We've got a 20-minute session for the drivers tonight. This is their last chance to improve their grid spots before tonight's 34-lap race. having a look on screen at the moment, it's already a tight little fight for position. Everyone fighting for a good track position. Josh Muggleton in the Tats.com Falcon, John Emerson in the Good Game Falcon. Those two were major players in last week's event, and we all saw how that came out.
Oh, looks like both of them have just got a little bit too hot, and Emerson's ditted up that nice paint job of his.
Yeah, it's so easy to do. That's exactly what we were talking about earlier, just fighting for a little bit of real estate and very easy to trip over another car.
And look, the one thing to do is with these guys, you need a bit of clear track because it's so easily, you can get easily distracted when you've got someone in front of you. You're just trying to pick your braking zones and your racing line, but never mind, there's still plenty of time in this session, and we check out on screen Madison Down.
He's just pulled off a lap there. Dan Man obviously not happy with the result, but still plenty of other cars out on track. We've got a full 25 cars out there tonight at the moment. A lot of people just trying to pick and choose their moment, find a bit of clear position, clear running, be able to put in that one perfect lap. Bet they all wish it was easy as it sounds.
Yeah, what's the old adage? It's, if it was easy, everyone would be doing it.
Yeah, that's right. Look at the traffic on this track at the moment. It's congested as anything.
So the man on screen, Wayne Burke, I think it was someone just parked under the bridge, just trying to give him a bit of real estate, which is a nice move.
Yeah, like I said, all just trying to find a bit of clear space, but with these many cars, it's like Gympie Road here in Brisbane at 3 o'clock on an afternoon. Nowhere to move, nowhere to go. Look, cars everywhere.
The one thing I do like is a lot of the competitors are being very respectful, moving right off the racing line, even onto the grass and the gravel, which is really good because everyone knows just how hard it is to get a decent, clear lap round here, and a lot of guys that are taking that into consideration, which is great sportsmanship.
So this will have Wayne Burke coming around to complete that lap. A 106.5 for him, and that's where's that put him at the moment? A little bit off of his best, which is 106.3, but once again we saw just how tough it is to put a lap together already.
Had a little bit of a moment there through the last section of the racetrack too, but nevertheless.
Have a look at Richard Hampstead on screen at the moment. He's put in a very solid qualifying time already, currently third on the grid. That was a 105.9. Only a couple of drivers that have managed to get below the sixes. That's Muggleton, Down and Hampstead. Very, very tight times at the top.
That's one of the pleasures of actually putting in a decent time through the week. He can go into this final qualifying session without too much pressure. He knows that he's done the job sort of halfway at the moment. P3's not too bad. Of course, everyone wants to start on pole, but it does take a little bit of pressure off him, and he knows that if he does make that advantage or any small gain, it is going to benefit him.
Well, the further up the grid you are, the better, because we know there's going to be chaos behind, and just behind him. Who was that having a bit of a spin? I think that was Madison Down. Big slide in the last corner. Not an easy place to put a lap together, is it?
No, that's right. It was Hampstead time 160, so still needs a little bit more time to improve.
Look at our current pole sitter, Josh Muggleton. Cats.com Falcon. That car currently leading the timesheet with a 105.7.
He's got to be fairly happy with that too. Muggo's been fairly busy through the week and hasn't had much time to cut many laps, and I think he left it as late as late this afternoon to actually put out a first qualifying time. So to be sitting up there top of the pops so far, I think he'd be fairly happy with that.
I was actually watching the last session that these guys were in, which is about an hour ago, and Muggleton was able to improve his qualifying time from the time he'd set prior, so they're still finding speed out there. Anytime you're up the top is a good time, and anytime you can improve on that is even better.
Didn't quite do it that time round. He's going on with it though, so maybe he's thinking about a bit of a race run here, not sure, but fastest time you have to punch out for pole at the moment is 105.7, so still a couple more tenths in it there for those guys. It's interesting to see some of these lines that these guys carry on in the front straight because momentum plays a big part and you want to carry as much speed as you can down that long straightaway. And Sean Kelly had a nice little wide entry and he's had a bit of a moment of a slide there. He's held it all together nicely. But he's going to end up in the gravel there for a second.
Yeah, using all the road and then some. There's lots of little bits of like concrete just off the edge of the track that you can use to try and build a bit of extra time, especially in the back section towards the flip-flop. But Sean Kelly pulls off a little bit too sloppy that lap, but he'll try and punch out another one, I'm sure. I actually want to have a look at that next time we see a driver around. Just that back section of the track, especially the that little chicane, the flip-flop we call it, just how much concrete there is on the inside, even beyond the apex curve. And these guys are going to be all over that. They have two wheels off the track all of the time, but that's how you make speed here.
Of course, our unlucky man from last week, Brad Ryan, who's just started a hot lap now. A new team for him, so no doubt after last week's qualifying performance, he would have loved to have a red-hot go in the top split, but missed out by a little bit as we touched on, so no doubt he's quickly put all that behind him, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how he'll go at the moment. Still finds himself in the top 10, a little bit of work to do from last week's pace, but he's still there or thereabouts.
Well, he's shown us that he's got the pace, just got to put it all together now and get a race complete start to finish, but like we said, it's not as easy as it sounds. We'll have a bit of a look out from the bottom of our chopper and see just how much curve they're using. Not a whole lot there, Brad Ryan, but here's where we'll see it through the flip-flop. And he's not using as much curve as some of them, but off the track and into the fence. That's an ugly way to end your lap.
Yeah, it's catch-22, isn't it? You try to get a good run up over that blind apex, and if you run just that little bit wide and touch the grass, you're pretty much a passenger. So never mind, still just gone over halfway in this 20-minute session, so 10 minutes to go. Just try and see, find some drivers that are actually on a hot lap. I think Mullen might be on one.
Yeah, it's difficult to find clear track here, which is what the drivers are struggling with. Mullen, one of the only guys it looks like with some space to himself. Big moment there. He's still going on with it.
Yeah, he's still putting temperature into that rear tyre, so he'll quickly abort that one. No, he's going to go on with it.
Yeah, he took a very wide line there at the final corner, as we said, to get a fantastic run onto the straight.
Yeah, he's given up a lot of time. His fastest time for the week is a 6.3, so never mind.
Yeah, well, one little mistake is all it takes, one little slip up, and you're going to lose bucket loads of time around here. You wouldn't want to do that in the race either, because if you've got a big train of cars behind you, then you're in big trouble.
That's right.
Still continuing on with this lap. About to head over the bridge for this figure 8 section of circuit, and then back down to this really intense rhythm section that we were talking about earlier. Just flows beautifully, doesn't it? The car's constantly turning.
Yeah, it's a great bit of real estate if you've got the car set up nicely. If you're struggling with the car, it really wants to do your head in a little bit. But he's a little bit tail happy there, but not too bad.
Oh.
You can see it really moving around, coming on the front straight away.
And he aborts.
The man on screen, Dean O'Brien, we hear him, he had pretty good pace in the earlier race that happened just before qualifying, so it'd be nice for him to sort of pull out a decent result. Just trying to find him on the qualifying sheets at the moment. He had P4, so 6024, so good pace there, and it's always nice when you have a decent result in the earlier races. When you carry that sort of momentum into the next one, no doubt he'd be looking forward to it.
Yeah, P4 qualifying is a fantastic effort for Dean O'Brien. He's got to be happy with that. Another one of these drivers that we've been talking about who's continuing to chip away. We've seen him step up in terms of his pace, and he's definitely going to be one to challenge the front runners this season. Let's have a look out the front of this car, and this will show us just what it's like for the drivers through this rhythm section. Especially as we come up to this blind crest. They're completely unsighted for the left-hander coming up, just here on the flip-flop. Beautiful piece of road, and he's off.
Yeah, killed it. He couldn't quite get the nose turned in for that last turn.
Well, that was a great example of just how easy it is to get wrong around here. It's not an easy place, is it? Man on screen at the moment, Matthew Hill. Where is he currently sitting on the sheets? Currently with a 106.3. That's got him in P16 for Matthew Hill. Hasn't quite managed to get there this session, but there's still about 5 minutes left. So Matthew Hill and no doubt all the other drivers out there will be looking to punch out a quick time in these remaining 5 minutes. This is where it really starts to heat up in these fast 20-minute sessions.
That's right, and it goes to show you how close it is. If he can just find himself, 2/10 or something like that, he'll find himself well inside the top 10. So, you don't have to be a rocket scientist to know that you'd rather start in the top 10 than sort of back in 16th, 17th position. So, but easier said than done just to find 2/10 out of your back pocket.
Oh, there's nothing in it. 4th to 12th, for example, there's only just a shade over 1/10 separating all of those drivers, so it doesn't take much.
Just a little bit of moment there on exit, and he'll abort that fairly quickly. Go back to the man who's currently P2 at the moment in the Tats.com Falcon, Madison Down. You can see that long, wide apex as he starts to start his lap. Gets the power down and tries to carry that speed all the way down the front straight. It's a massive game when you do it. You can find yourself with a good couple of kilometres an hour up your sleeve as you turn in for turn 1.
One of the most awesome things about that is how close they get to the wall. He might have a bit of traffic here, but no, does well to step aside that TTL car.
I think it just looked a lot closer with the cameras than it actually was. But yeah, it's good. So far, so good. One thing that's interesting too is fortunate enough to be a bit of an insider in the TTR camp, but the difference between Muggo's set and Madison Down's set are completely different. They both like different driving styles, so as much as was a bit of setup sharing throughout the team, these guys really do go their own way with setup, and it's incredible to see just how close their racing is on track, but how different the cars are.
Well, that's right. With those two guys being position 1 and 2 on the timesheets, if they're using completely different setups, just goes to show how much of it comes down to driver skill. With a car like this, a track like this, you've got to be the best to be up the top.
Oh, there he goes, 105.896, just off his PB, so he'll still sit in P2 for the moment.
He'll be the fast man of this session, but not quite enough to knock Hamilton off the top overall. Nothing in it between those two.
The guys are slowly running out of time too. Under 3 minutes to go in this session. I think Josh Muggleton's about to start his lap.
He's going to be following Richard Hampstead around. It's sometimes good to use another car as a reference point, as long as that car doesn't make a mistake.
Yeah, that's exactly right. You can see just how easy it is if you're following someone and they miss their braking marker, and if you're going by their brake lights, you're as quick as dead, just going straight off behind them as well. So he's actually gaining a little bit of ground here too, which can be a bit of a distraction if you've got that pace. Yeah. But
Hampstead pulls off the road.
There you go. Worked out nicely for him.
Continue on. Look, he's had a very good first sector, has Josh Muggleton, into the second section of the track. Got to be one of my favourite pieces of road. Pulls off.
Oh.
Just so tough to put a lap together.
Not much time left now. Under 2 minutes now. 1.5 minutes now, actually. So for some of these guys that have just headed back to the pits, they'll only sort of get one more stab at it. So it's the guys have to realise now whether they're actually on a lap, whether it's worth continuing, or head back to the pits and have one last crack.
Yeah, this is it.
The good thing is there's a couple of drivers in this session that are sort of in or around their lap times. There's not much in it, but not too many people. Oh, big contact there. Sorry, just looking back in the Dean O'Brien. Looks like he just had a bit of contact. Might have been Mullen there as he was rejoining the racetrack. But some of these guys aren't there or thereabouts with their lap times, so but no one's quite making a big dent as far as big movers or shakers.
Got Sean Kelly on screen at the moment. I don't think he's actually managed to set a time in this session, which 20 minutes and not being able to put together a good lap, that's not a good feeling, but also once again shows just how hard it is for these guys. So he'll have time, 20 seconds left. He might make it around for one more lap after this one. I think he will. Sean Kelly currently 7th on the charts. He's done a 106.0. Quite there, and he's going to pull off. So that's session over for Sean Kelly, and checkered flag is out.
A couple of guys, teammates here, John Emerson and Brad Ryan, as they're halfway through this lap as the session comes to a close.
Yeah, they were the quick men last week in qualifying, and John Emerson had that fantastic race at Okayama just snatched from his fingertips. So, put in a very quick second sector so far. Only one corner to go. Tidy.
Emerson would be looking to improve too, because he's currently 14th at the moment. Time is a 6.3, so
6.1.
he has gone faster. There you go.
He did the same thing last week, moving up in the dying stages of the final qualifying session.
So just a number of drivers now just finishing off their last lap. I think that will almost just about do it, I think.
Yeah, no one really left out there. We've got Rob Hartley and Phil Hobbs has completed his lap. Session complete. Well, that was exciting.
Yeah, good to see a couple. Well, Emerson made a couple of spots there towards the end there, so that was good. But we'll quickly run through the times in this session. Madison down fastest with 5.842. Not anything to improve on his time. Dean O'Brien 2nd, Richard Hampstead 3rd, John Emerson 4th, Ian Ford 5th, Brad Ryan 6th, Josh Muggleton 7th, Sean Kelly 8th, Mitch McLeod 9th, and Dale Nish in 10th. And of course, all these will play out because they're not indicative of what the final qualifying order is, but we'll run through that as the race comes to a start, and really looking forward to seeing how it's all going to play out.
Yeah, that session was a perfect indication of just how tough this race is going to be. We've seen how tight the track is, we've seen how difficult it is to pass, and real estate is prime here. So I can't wait for this race, Sam. What do you reckon?
Mate, absolute ripper. We don't have to worry about fuel saving. It's going to be flat out sprint race. The guys got 34 laps to. They're going to have to concentrate their heart out around here, especially if they've got a nice little battle on their hands. And mate, should be an absolute perler.
That's right. Bring it on. We may take a quick break. We'll be back in a couple of minutes though for coverage of the main event, the race that we've all been waiting for. Thanks for watching. We'll be back shortly.
This
Good evening, race fans, and welcome to the iRacing V8 Supercar Series. We are V8's Online, broadcasting to you tonight live and in glorious high definition with support from the V8 Supercar Fan Group, Direct Clutch Services, and the V8's Online Superstore. I'm Leo Gray, and joining me in the booth tonight is one of the most iconic voices in all of online broadcasting, Stephen Sandman Clark. How are you doing, Stephen?
Oh, mate, after that intro, I have to slip you $50 for that. But good to be here, Leo, mate. Really looking forward to this round. And, mate, it's always good to have a bit of Aussie flavour in iRacing. We're fortunate enough to have 3 racetracks, and tonight it's Oran Park's turn.
Yeah, that's right. Our season began with a bang at Okayama with our defending champion, Josh Muggleton, taking victory in a race that was filled with drama, intrigue and excitement. But for round 2, we find ourselves at a historic venue that has played host to some classic V8 Supercar events in the past, and that's Sydney's Oran Park. The list of winners at this circuit reads like a who's who of Australian motorsport. Legendary drivers like Moffat, Brock, Johnson and Richards and many others have all taken victories here. But even though we lost this historic circuit to housing development, it's lived on with us here at iRacing. We're very excited to be able to bring you all the V8 Supercar action once more from Oran Park. Why don't you tell us about this race tonight, Sandman?
Mate, sensational race. We've got 34 laps in front of us, 12 turns. I think it's 1.62 miles in the old language. And our trusty director upstairs will give us the kilometres. I think it's 2.6 Ks. Might be 2.6 Ks. So, mate, and the best bit is we don't have to worry about fuel saving like we did last week. It's a flat-out sprint race. The guys only have to worry about their tyre condition underneath them to go the distance.
Yeah, that's going to be the big thing to watch tonight. It's an intense little venue, Oran Park. Very difficult to pass on. Very difficult track to race on even on your own. And it's going to be an exciting little event tonight. Flat out, which is what we want to see, and a very strong field tonight. Strength of field of 43.87.
Yeah, good to see these guys are going to go door handle to door handle, some of their closest friends, 25 cars on track. And, mate, we've seen great runs in qualifying and a little bit of a mix-up there. I think Renz Brookman finds himself up to P4, so a sensational effort when he's qualified, obviously, on the European servers. And, mate, I think he's pretty happy with this car pace tonight.
Oh, you'd have to be, and qualifying is so important here. We'll run through the grid in a second, but we've seen how tough it is to pass. We all know what a difficult circuit Oran Park is, so starting up the pointy end of the field is going to be crucial. We'll have a look at that starting grid, run through that now. We've got a Tats.com front row lockout of Josh Muggleton and Madison Down, Richard Hampstead from position 3, Renz Brookman, who put in that brilliant lap in the previous qualifying session to get up into P4. We've got Dean O'Brien, who also moved up in the last session, and just look at how tight these times are. Val Ritchie's, Sean Kelly, Paul Gallen, Lee Ellis, and John Emerson rounding out the top 10. And then beyond that, we've got Brad Ryan, Bo Cattell, Ian Ford, Mitch McLeod, Wayne Burke, Matthew Hill, Marlon McMullen. List goes on. Where are we here? Tobias Cerny, Curtis Chipaway, Bo Cubis, Chris Stone round out the top 20, and then the final cars on the grid, Sam Collins, Michael Schreier, Richard Aylwood, Rob Hartley, and Phil Hobbs rounding out the field. And there's some mighty close times in there. This is going to be one intense little motor race.
The best part is, mate, that grid's a little bit mixed up. There's a couple of names up and down the grid where you normally don't see them, and that's what we like to see, especially with a brand new season ahead of us and so many different teams and drivers with switches and plenty going on. And that might lead us into our good man, Reece Gardner, thanks to Astro Gaming Headsets. Reece, how you going, mate?
I'm not going too bad, guys. I'm looking forward to this race mainly because I can kick back a little bit. There isn't going to be a pit stop this race, but of course there's going to be some interesting stuff happening during the race. I've got a bit of pre-race info from my trusted sources at Overclockers AU and Trans-Tasman Racing. Matt Burgess from Overclockers told me that Michael Fabian will not be racing tonight. There probably won't be any Overclockers cars in the top split. He tells me, no Fabian tonight. He said something about not being paid enough and having a sore back. We hope to see Fabs back soon. And from my trusted TTR spy guy at Trans-Tasman Racing, we've got apparently Josh Muggleton's motivation for trying to get pole is so that Madison doesn't screw him over like at Virginia last season.
Love your work, mate.
Thanks for that, Reese. Right, we've got drivers gridding up now. 25 Angry V8 Supercars, 34 laps of Oran Park. This is going to be one exciting race, Sandman. I can't wait.
It's going to be a nice old battle into turn one, isn't it, mate? You just always see the guys, a little bit of red mist heading into that tight little section of the racetrack, but really looking forward to it.
Here we go, revs rise, tats.com 1-2, V8 Supercars at Oran Park. Let's go racing.
Awesome start by the top four there. You can see Richard Hampstead trying to make a move around the outside of Madison Down as they go into turn one.
Yeah, he's putting pressure on Down, but it's not really where you want to be. Rens Brookman trying to buy into the action too, but Hampstead hanging on tough on the outside. Yeah, gets up on the curb, look at the congestion on the back. Looks like there's a car around, contact in the back of the pack. But on we go to turn three. Such
So
a
far, so
busy
good.
little track.
Nice start from Josh Muggleton. He'll be fairly happy with that nice little drag race with his teammate in turn one. And that sort of settles itself down a little bit. Madison Down in second, Richard Hampstead third, and looks like Rens Brookman fourth, Dean O'Brien in fifth.
Whoa, there's a bit of contact back in the field with John Emerson and Lee Ellis, I think it was. And
Brad Ryan maybe got involved a little bit there too.
yeah, it's running side by side is a tough thing to do here, and they're still going on with it. We've got Wayne Burke side by side with Brad Ryan coming to the flip flop. That's not.
They've got to hold them
Wow.
both through there. Oh, you don't want to go side by side through there. Lucky not to trip over each other, but they did a really great job to get through.
Yeah, somehow managed to pull that off, and they're still 2 by 2 behind. You know, when one driver gets held up by another, it just brings all the others back into play here. Brad Ryan, he moves over to take the position, swooping down into turn one.
Oh, he's not over yet. He's going to look up the inside of Brad Ryan there. He's going to think about the move. He gets the job done. Wayne Burke, nice little move there. Just when Brian thought he had it all to himself, and Burke stuck it right up the inside.
They're fighting hard. There's still a bit of contact between them. Burke and Ryan. It's continuing on, and there's someone around just behind. Who's that? That's Curtis Chipaway. So Chipaway gets turned, a light little spin at turn three. That drops him to the back of the pack, but he'll continue on with minimal damage. See if we can track down that on the race recall replay.
See just how hungry these guys are at the start. We're seeing how hard it is to pass. So any opportunity these guys get where they can get a position, they'll try and get it done as quick as they can because it is so tricky around here.
Not wrong, but we'll have a look at the lead of the race. We've got Josh Muggleton, who's pulled out about a half a second gap back to his teammate Madison Down. Hampstead running third, Rens Brookman top four, so they haven't changed in positions, but gee, it's an intense fight behind.
Interesting to see that. Well, we're just hearing maybe Dean O'Brien's had a bit off back there.
He was sitting in
near the bridge.
position 5 just before, but he's lost a handful of spots. That's dropped him back to about 9th now. Brad Ryan's still in the thick of all the action. He and Ian Ford going at it like there's no tomorrow. Coming back up to this random section over the bridge. Ian Ford's got, is that Lee Ellis putting pressure on him, slides through. That was a gutsy move.
Yeah, hold your breath moment there as you take the inside move over the top of that bridge.
It's going to bring the Hill into play.
So you find these guys will battle a little bit hard at the start. Like we said, they want to get that track position if they can. So a little bit of single file towards the front part of the pack, but these guys still pretty keen to race side by side back in the pack. But it won't take long before they start thinking about the single file.
Yeah, even though they are single file, they're still racing as hard as you can. We're going to look out the back of Josh Muggleton here. Look at the pressure that Madison Down is putting on his Stats.com teammate.
Oh,
right on
contact!
the back of him on the
Was
brakes.
that a little bit of contact?
Couldn't have been any closer.
That's the last thing I want to see at TTR. The Tats.com boys battling it out. The last thing you want is putting a bumper to each other.
They're going on with it.
Madison
Madison
Down
put
looking
the nose
really
in.
pacey.
Wow.
Yes, they are teammates.
And yeah, they're racing hard, harder than you would think sometimes, but continue on with it. Driver has had some trouble there, Sean Kelly. He's dropped down the order a little bit. No, it looked like it was maybe just internet dramas. Sorry, I lost him on my timing screen there. He's still running in position 5. Sorry about that. Bit of an internet problem there. Anyway, just behind that intense teammate battle, we've got Richard Hampstead getting a bit of pressure from Ren's Brookman. That Movember car, same as Jay Kennedy running earlier in our hot lap.
It's great effort from Renz in the early qualifying session, finds himself in P4, and he's holding on to it. He's really racing these guys up towards the front. And it's unfortunate that he's not a regular in this series. He's got different commitments in the course races on the other side of the world. So, of course, when we see him run, he's always up towards the front. So it's really good to see how he's going to go this season.
He's a fierce competitor and adds a lot to the series whenever he's in here. We saw him in the thick of the action last week at Okayama, and he's right up where he left off last week, back here running position 4 at Oran Park. Right on board with Ren's Brooklyn for a little bit here. Straight to run right now, of course, is really the only place for the drivers to have a bit of a rest, but check out this super fast and tough turn 1. Just on the limit of grip, and you've got to nail it down hard for the second turn here, which is a tight left-hander. And you can see out the front of this car just how hard those Tats teammates are fighting. They start getting side by side, that'll bring Hampstead and Brookman right up into it, which is what they're going to be hoping for.
Sure, maybe Brookman just had a little bit of a moment there, maybe a locked a tyre or something, but still managed to keep it fairly clean, which was good. Just lost a little bit of time.
But behind that is the fight for 5th and 6th. Val Ritchies and Sean Kelly. They've managed to trade positions a little while ago when we were on board with Brookman. And just behind that, John Emerson and Dean O'Brien. So Emerson's managed to make some ground up from his 10th place starting position. But Dean O'Brien's going to want to change that.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's getting racy up front here, boys. Unbelievable. This it almost looks like nose-to-tail contact every time they hit into the braking zone. But what this is doing, this is really bringing Hampstead back into the fold too, because although Muggleton and Down are trying to battle it out and take position over each other, they're giving up a lot of track time.
You can see that they're taking different lines through the corners. Muggleton seems to be taking more of a traditional line, whereas Madison Down is straightening up those apexes, taking a wide entry and a late apex to try and get speed on Muggleton for these short straights, but it's so difficult to make a pass. He's just going to want to put maximum pressure on the back of his teammate and hope for a mistake.
It's brilliant to watch all this happening because, you know, there's a little bit of time there where Muggleton kept finishing. He was sort of played, well, almost bridesmaid. It was P3 in the championships. Now he's got that championship monkey off his back. His pace is sensational and he's really taken to his teammate Madison Down.
Yeah, but momentum's a big thing here, and he's carried on from that victory last week. Perfect start for a season so far for Josh Muggleton. Now here's someone that we didn't really get to see much of last week, and that's Brad Ryan. We spoke a lot about him though. He's currently holding down a very strong 9th position. Got Wayne C. Burke for company. And just behind them, Ian Ford and Lee Ellis. There's little battles everywhere that you look.
Yeah, that position between Ford and Ellis changed hands last lap. Ellis was in front, got a little bit taily just out of the section we came out of now and had to give up the spot to Ford. So nice little battle here. Ford's definitely going to have his hands full.
And we've missed it, but Bo Cubis has come into the lane.
Nice move there from Ellis. Get a chance, we'll go to our race recall replay, give a bit of an outside view as we were on board there at the time for Ellis's move. We'll show you an outside view of that brake little move for Ellis as he gets that position back from Ford.
There's not many spots to do it, but that was a very tidy little pass. Showing that you can do it here at Oran Park. It's just not the easiest thing in the world. Move back to the front though. And that's just closed up. We've got 1.5 seconds separating the top 3. And It's just getting more and more compact each time we look at it.
And then the top four have got a 5-second gap back there to Var Ritchie's in 5th place. So this top four, they're sort of writing their own script at the moment, but they've got to be careful because they are battling between each other. It doesn't take much to make a bit of a mistake here, but these guys have been racing a long time and they know what they're doing, and it's going to be a great battle to see how it all unfolds. And it's as they come across the line, it's going to be lap 10.
Another fantastic battle on screen at the moment is Emerson, O'Brien and Sean Kelly. Those guys are fighting hard. Emerson getting massive pressure from behind, but we know he can handle the pressure. Cool as a cucumber is John Emerson. Wanting to make amends for the happenings of last week. He's made the position on Sean Kelly there. Kelly dropped a wheel off and ran a bit wide. Managed to rejoin, lucky not to spear completely off the track there.
Well, you're not wrong. Once you get a tyre off into that dirt and gravel there, usually it's pretty much game over, but he did a great job of holding that and trying to give away 2 spots to Emerson and O'Brien. I think you'll be pretty happy with that.
Yeah, it's not often in a V8 supercar that you can get it wrong and continue on to fight another day, but still a long way left in this race, 24 laps.
I hear reports that Kelly may be having some dramas with his internet issues there, and yeah, his ping is actually going through the roof at about 1500, and fingers crossed he doesn't drop out of the server. It looks like he may have actually popped out for the moment, but maybe just letting a couple of people by, because that's the last thing. It's so distracting when you've got someone in front of you that have got internet issues.
Well, big train further down the field. Actually, already look, we've got who's in this? Rob Hartley, Richard Aylwood, Curtis Chipaway, Phil Hobbs, Chris Stone. Fantastic little battle pack. Got Hartley and Chipaway side by side. Curtis made the move trying to get around the outside. Not an easy thing to complete, but he's still managing to hold on there.
Yeah, he's hanging in there. He's doing a really great job, actually. It's tough to do it, but he's not giving up now. Will he think about the crossover? He can't. He's going to be really going the long way around. He doesn't think better of it and just tuck in behind, but really had a red hot go, and this battle's for 18.
He's carrying on with it, though. Nearly managed to get the nose up the inside. I don't think anyone told Curtis that when he was trying to go around the outside there's actually 3 right-hand corners in a row, so... But he'll fight on. Try and get that position from Rob Hartley. That's a beautiful sight, isn't it? 5 V8 supercars just nose to tail like that.
Yeah, and I said it was for 18th. This is for 20th, 21st, 22nd and 23rd position. So, a big moment there. Who was that? Sideways coming on the front straight.
I think that was Bo Cattell.
Samuel Collins has had a big off at the end of the front straightaway too. Managed to get it back on track. And we're just looking at the on-screen chat between the drivers, and Kelly knows about his internet problem. He's apologising to the guys on screen, so he is giving a bit of room to the other guys that are racing around him, which is good sportsmanship.
Race recall replay shows how tight it was for Phil Collins there. Sam Collins just
tell you what, things have changed. Sorry, mate. Between Muggleton and Down, they've opened up a little 2-second gap over Richard Hampson and Renz Brookman now.
Impressive that they've managed to break away, given that Muggleton and Down are still all over each other. They haven't let up anything at all, but Hampstead and Brookman have just dropped off ever so slightly. They're still in a tough fight between each other.
Although we said it's an outright sprint race, these guys don't have to worry about fuel, but the one thing they might want to do is think about their tyre wear. 34 laps around this place, the guys are going to have their work cut out for them, and whoever can hold on to their tyres and make them go the distance will benefit from that in the long run.
Yeah, due to the nature of this track, because there's so much time spent turning and so much time spent balancing the throttle, it's very, very easy to overdrive and light up those tyres. And of course, V8 Supercar is a big, heavy thing that's not very kind to its rubber. And 34 laps is still a pretty long way to go in one of these things. So we'll see who's got the goods at the end.
check out the good game Falcon of John Emerson. He's starting to open up a little bit of a margin now to Dino Ryan. So now he finds himself with a bit of clear air and just doesn't concentrate looking back at his mirror. Maybe he can think about closing that margin back to Var Ritchie's. There's a bit of a margin there, but all he needs to do is just head down, bum up, not worry about Dean O'Brien, and it looks like the car's a little bit pacey at the moment, which is good.
Drivers behind that, Brad Ryan, Wayne Burke, they've been in a fantastic scrap since the flags dropped. Currently running position 8 and 9.
Yeah,
Good
not
job
giving
by
each
those
other
two
an
riders.
inch. That's exactly what we want to see, nice side by side and good hard battle.
Yeah, we've seen moves from these guys that we didn't even think was possible. 2 wide through the flip-flop on the first lap, you know, you wouldn't have thought that would have happened. Whoa, someone's had an off just behind, that was Lee Ellis. Lee Ellis had a big slide there. Got himself into the gravel trap.
Yeah, well, we'll go to our race recall replay. You'll see as he starts to exit down the dipper, he gets the right rear up onto the grass and fires it off through the gravel trap and touches the tyre barrier. He'll drop 2 or 3 spots there, 2 spots. Looks like Mitch McLeod just got past him, so finds himself back in 12th position now.
I don't know if any of you remember that reminded me, it was almost a complete reenactment of Max Wilson getting the WPS Falcon on its roof at that exact same corner, just heading into the gravel trap sideways. Luckily he didn't end up quite as deep as what happened on that day, but still a scary moment.
So it's lap 15 of 34. Your leader, Josh Muggleton, leading attack stock comp 1-2. We're starting to see a bit of this lately. It's Josh Muggleton over his teammate Madison down. Then a good little battle between Richard Hampstead and Renz Brooklyn for 3rd and 4th. In 5th place, it's Var Ritchie's. A bit of a margin. He's out there by himself over John Emerson 6th, Dean O'Brien 7th, Brad Ryan 8th, Wayne Burke in 9th, and Ian Ford round out your top 10.
Madison in 2nd place. He's actually got a bit of a streak on here at Oran Park, and that is 3 consecutive 2nd place finishes. So he's going to want to end that one tonight, but he's doing very well to be continuing it, unfortunately, at the moment, which isn't going to be what he wants to do.
That's what Muggleton wants to see, but yeah, it's an interesting stat that it's just P2, 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 but you never know. Still plenty of time in this race, and he was the pacier of the two earlier, but was that a bit of strategy from Muggleton? I guess we'll just have to wait and see.
We'll have a bit of a cross to Reese Gardner, our pit reporter, for a bit of a mid-race report. What's happening around the traps, Reese?
Well, I have gathered some info from teams in Split 1, and I also have a mid-race update from Split 2, but I'm going to do the Split 1 stuff first. TTR Spy Guy told me earlier on in the race that Madison was suffering a bit of brake lock up behind Josh Muggleton, and right now he's just messaged me. Lee Ellis has had no confidence in the car from the green flag, and he's a bit frustrated. And just as a bit of an aside, for our viewers, I'm not sure if there's an actual proper way to tell what split a driver is in, but for now I will say that V8's Online co-founder and ex-commentator Jay Kennedy is currently running 10th in the 3rd split, to my knowledge. I'll go now to the Split 2 mid-race running order. We've got Sanjin Delilich and Dale Niche running an Altitude Brighton Volvo 1-2. In 3rd we've got Nathan Bay, 4th is Corey Preston, 5th is Paul Gallen for ANZ V8 Supercar Fan Group. For Lazy Man Racing in 6th, Jason Black, 7th, Matthew Burnett, 8th, Jason Scandalera, 9th, Brian Godsall, and 10th, Kurt Stenberg. Looks like there's a bit of a battle holding up for 9th and 10th. Stenberg all over the back of Godsall, but from 6th to 10th there is a train of cars, and that's all I've got for now, guys.
Oh, I love your work, Reese. Thanks to Astro Gaming Headsets, mate. Look forward to another update and see how our man Jay Kennedy's going a little bit later.
Yeah, definitely.
Now, the man that was mentioned is having a bit of trouble with his Falcon there, Lee Ellis. He's managed to lose the position to Marlon McMullen. So Ellis has dropped down to position 3 at the moment, which is not what he's going to be wanting, especially starting from 8th place on the grid. So heading in the wrong direction. Marlon McMullen doing the opposite, moving forward, currently holding down position 12.
It's a shame because Lee Ellis has been fairly strong the last few weeks, especially towards the end of last season. So might come into the grips of the Falcon round here at Oran Park, but nevertheless, I think he'll just worry about trying to get as many points as he can and maybe just concentrate on this and maybe a drop round.
Yeah, sometimes you just got to hang on the best you can, but it's not an easy circuit by any stretch, so sometimes you kind of understand a place like this, it's just so difficult to get right. Someone who is doing well at the moment, who can do no wrong as it seems, is Josh Muggleton. Led every lap so far from pole position and holding down about a half a second gap down to his teammate Madison Down. So they're still clean sailing in positions 1 and 2. This battle with Hampstead and Brookman behind is still continuing on. Seems to have settled at the front just a little bit, but still a long way to go. Maybe some people calling off their tyres a bit, preparing for a final dash to the flag, we'll see.
This little battle back here, this is position 15 and 16. It's Matty Hill and Michael Schreier. These guys have been duking it out for the last couple of laps, but it's actually brilliant for our V8 Supercar Series that regardless of where you are in the field, there's always some strong battles up and down. Doesn't have to be up the front, and it's a testament to our series.
We've seen that already. We've seen some exciting action all the way down to 20th position. Doesn't matter where you are, there's fantastic competition here in this series. V8 Supercars, Oran Park, we've seen how good it is, and mate, this is the stuff that we love. Bit of a fight here for the final spot in the top 10. Ian Ford has it, Mitchell Cloud wants it. So they're running quite well.
Yeah, good to see Mitch back somewhat full-time to the series. He had a little bit of a hiatus there, and he's got his own team going, and wants to find himself just outside the top 10. So not a bad effort, but no doubt he'd like to be up a little bit higher up the grid.
It's a good-looking paint job on that TDR Falcon. Stands out beautifully with the red, black, and white.
There back there for Brad Ryan. He's managed to get the job done on Wayne Burke and open up a little bit of a margin too, so he finds himself in P7, so not a bad effort. Started in 10th, so a couple of positions under his belt as the race goes on.
Yes, solid drive by Brad Ryan at the moment. We'll have a bit of a look at the movers through the field at the moment. Top 4 have managed to hold station, but the biggest movers in our field at the moment are Wayne Burke and Michael Schreier. Both managed to have moved up 6 positions so far. Big losers, Bo Cattell down 8 spots. He's then also on the other side of the page, we've got Kelly, who's dropped 17, but that was due to internet dramas. Yeah, even though things do seem to calm down a little bit throughout the field, this fight for 3rd and 4th position, Richard Hampstead and Renz Brookman, that gap hasn't changed the entire race. It's been half a second the whole way through, and their lap times, nothing in it between them.
That's exactly right. That's what I was going to touch on. Let's see as they cross the line now. 7.5 for Hampstead, and Brookman's time
7.2.
7.2. Madison down to 7.4. Josh Muggleton to 7.5. Oh, Hammer's had a big moment there. He's given up the spot there. Came in a little bit too hot. We'll go and check out the action on a race recall replay. Looks like he might have just locked the rears and he got it half sideways, managed to gather it up, didn't touch the grass, but unfortunately had to give up that position to Renz Brookman.
Yeah, that was a tough move by Hampstead. Brookman did a fantastic job to capitalise, moving himself up into 3rd position. Hampstead will carry on. The tyres will be a little bit unhappy for it, but very lucky not to have taken any damage in that.
Yeah, and the main thing is he didn't touch the grass or the gravel, so he didn't spin it right round and give up all that time. So, yeah, he lost a little bit of time, but there's still a long way to go. It's like 22 or 34, so the guys have still got a good 12 laps under their belt before they get this thing running one and done. So, Well, it could have been a lot worse, but nevertheless, he's still got Brookman in his sights.
But I tell you what this has done now. Renz Brookman was the fastest car on track that previous lap before the spin. Do you think he's got anything to reel in those Tats cars?
Or maybe he was just sitting back there looking after his tyres. I think the next couple of laps would be interesting to just watch the stopwatch and see what he's got. But no doubt now that he's got Hampstead behind him, he can see those Tats.com boys, and if they start racing between themselves, that's really going to pull him right into the fold.
Yeah, Brookman's got himself in clean air. He doesn't have any pressure from behind, so we'll be very keen to monitor that gap as we go on towards the end of this race. Because, gee, I know that Brookman would love to get up and be a cat amongst those Tats.com pigeons. Speaking of teammates having good fights with each other, we've got Wayne Burke and Dean O'Brien fighting great in the ninth in those Osram cars.
Yeah, we saw a bit of this last week where the guys were having a great battle, and of course the first rule between teammates is not to take each other out, but they've been having a great strap, and this has been going on for 2 weeks now, so really good to see these guys making their way up through the field, and it's not a bad problem to have between teammates when you've got these guys running as good as they are.
That's right. Brilliant sportsmanship, of course, to have two teammates fighting as hard as you can, hard as you want. It probably sometimes makes better racing than the non-team members, because they'll just desperately want to get in front of the other, you know, for a bit of team supremacy, but not going to take the other out, because that would just spell drama from the team owners. Want that?
That's right, and of course the first person you always want to beat on race day is your teammate, so yeah, these guys having a red hot go is brilliant to watch.
I think there's some team info. I understand Reese Gardner's got some info about TTR for us. What do you got, Reese?
Yeah, I have got some info on TTR from my TTR spy guy. A couple of minutes ago, he told me that Madison Down was struggling with his rears, and Muggo adjusted his brake bias to try and keep him at bay. They're getting really, really close to each other on track now, but TTR spy guy messaged me just now with the information that Madison feels somewhat relieved because of Richard Hampstead's unfortunate slide about a lap or two ago, and Mad believed that he posed a threat over the next several laps, but I'll let you guys get back to the battle between teammates up at the front.
Nice work, Reese. Thanks to Astro Gaming headsets. Last lap round, Madison Down 2/10 quicker than his teammate Josh Muggleton, so this is really heating up. I know that Down really wants to get past Muggleton, but what are we looking at? It's lap 25 of 34, so he really needs to start thinking about where he can get the job done.
Having a look out the back of Muggleton's Tats.com Falcon at the moment. Madison Down is looking pretty racy at the moment. We haven't seen it this close since the early stages of the event. And 10 laps to go we're currently sitting at, so here's where it's going to get really exciting. Can't wait for the end of this one. So 10 laps to go, it's Muggleton, Down, Brookman, Hampstead. Oh, Richie's rounding out the top 5. Second half of that top 10 is John Emerson, Brad Ryan.
Oh, sorry to interrupt there, Madison Down. Having a huge moment, coming in all crossed up and sideways, but he's managed to keep that margin pretty much what it was. Sorry to interrupt there,
No, you're right. And I've just noticed behind that, Renton Brookman has had a small little slide at the final corner as well, so he's dropped a bit of ground, which was, he was obviously pushing very, very hard. And that's going to put him back into the clutches of Richard Hampstead. Hampstead's through on Brookman. I think that Brookman might have a little bit of damage. We didn't see the incident, but he might have clipped the wall coming out of the final corner there.
Oh, just having a quick look. I've just gone back and had a look at the replay. He locked it up going into the last turn and drilled the concrete wall. So he's got major damage to that right front.
And we'll see if we can find a race recall replay of that incident, but geez, devastating incident for Renz Brookman. He was looking good for a podium finish there and was hoping to put pressure on the Tats.com teammates, but he's still holding into fourth.
See the replay where he locked it up and he's drilled that concrete wall. So he has got a bit of damage there. Hopefully he can still hang in there with that battle with Hammer, but unbelievable. Just a bit of bad luck there. Locked him up and touched the grass, and hopefully he can just keep on going.
Renz is into the pits. He's been got a mechanical black flag from the stewards to bring that car in and get it repaired. So heartbreak for Renz Brookman in the November Falcon. But unfortunately, that's the breaks of motor racing for you. So that'll move Val Ritchie's up into 4th and John Emerson into the final position of the top 5.
It's a good bounce back for Emerson in the good game Falcon. He started this race in 9th place, and of course we touched on just the pace that he had last week. It was sensational to see him up front, and a good little rebound now finding himself in 6th place. Oh, hold your breath moment there between Arwood and Cattell. Tell you what, up front, the battle between the Tats boys, Josh Muggleton and Madison Down, they've got themselves a nice little 5.6 second margin last lap round between themselves and Richard Hampstead for 3rd place. So I think it's going to come down to these two guys. They need to be smart about it. They know they don't need to take each other out. They're both going to have a red hot go, and the times between these two are incredible.
They've managed to keep it on the track all race. They haven't made any mistakes between them. And so, perfect event up to this point from those two cars. Half a second between them. Down was just a touch faster on that last lap, so we're in for a ripper finish in this race. Let's see who can bring it home for the victory.
As we come around to complete the end of lap 28, we'll quickly run through your top 10. It's Josh Muggleton leading over Madison Down, Richard Hampstead in 3rd, Var Rich is in 4th, John Emerson in 5th, Brad Ryan in 6th, Wayne Burke in 7th, Dean O'Brien in 8th, Mitch McLeod 9th, and Ian Ford rounding out your top 10.
I'm glad you're able to complete that one, Sandman. Right, so that's set us up. 6 laps to go in this race. We've still got a fantastic little fight here between these Tats.com cars. Geez, Madison Down looks racy, doesn't he? He's just looks very good under brakes, making ground each time on his teammate. But Muggleton still has the high ground because it's just so tough to pass at Oran Park.
And the lap time's nothing in it. A 107.540 for Muggleton compared to a 107.513 between Down. So absolutely nothing in it. These guys are given 100%, and I think Madison's just waiting for Muggleton to make a mistake because it is so hard to pass around here.
It's very tough to pass, but these guys are both driving on a racer's edge at the moment. There's going to be... Geez, look at how much curve they use for that flip-flop. I love that section of track. Up into the final turn, and looks like they're closer than ever. That's another lap complete. We're coming to 5 laps to go this time by.
And that margin is now growing over Richard Hampstead. It's now 6.3 seconds last lap round. So it's pretty much between these guys now. It's going to be interesting to see. You can see Down really makes up that margin into the braking zone behind Josh Muggleton.
Yeah, Madison Down has definitely got pace on his teammate at the moment. But the hard thing, of course, is getting past. It's not going to be easy, but this is exactly what we wanted to see this week with the sprint race. The fuel saver was interesting last week at Okayama, but this is what V8 Supercar racing should be all about. Just an intense battle, tooth and nail, right down to the wire for a win. This shot will give us a good view of where Madison Down is making his ground up on his teammate. His car seems to be working very well under brakes. We had heard in a pit report that Muggleton had to adjust his brake bias a little bit, so maybe that's had a bit of an effect on him here.
Tell you what, the one thing I do love, the newest update we've had a couple of builds ago was the build-up and the grime on the windscreen. You can see the build-up that Madison Down's got after following his teammate for so many laps. It really looks great.
Well, a bit of opposite lock.
Nice job to hold it.
That just shows that they're right on the edge of grip, right on the limit, because he still looks like he's making a touch of ground on his teammate there. But Muggleton did actually respond that last time by, but there's still nothing in it for the lap times.
Sorry, mate, to a little bit of break in proceedings. We'll go and talk to Reece Gardner, our man in the pits, thanks to Astro Gaming headsets.
Yeah, guys, I've got one last update before the end of the race. Hopefully the last update, or hopefully not, depending on which way you're looking at it. TTR Spy Guy has given me another couple of updates. Madison still has lock-up dramas. His brake bias changes are not helping, and there's a rumour going around in the TTR pits that Richard Hampstead is wearing a dress for tonight's race. I'm sorry.
Interesting update, Reese. Thanks for that. I don't know where you get some of these from, but nonetheless.
Crazy Mind is where I get them from.
Brilliant.
Not mine.
Well, we've got a crazy race to finish off here. There's 3 laps to go now. Tats.com 1-2, and it's closer than ever up the front. Despite all this drama that we're hearing about from the pits, still looking good, these Tats cars. Madison Down is looking remarkably racy, and he ranges up onto the back of his teammate. Going up over the bridge now. This is where it's really tough. You've got big balls if you can make a pass around here, but geez, 2 laps to go at the end of this one. Is it just me, Sandman, or does Muggleton's car look like it might be eating the tyres up a little bit towards the end of this run?
Yeah, maybe. I think on camera it does look like the Down's probably the pacier of the two, but as much as these guys want the win, they need to think about the big picture too, because this is championship changing stuff if they take each other out, because they've had a great result last week, a good start to this brand new championship, so they've got to look at the big picture, and as much as they want the win, they need to think about not taking each other out.
But with that though, these two are 2 of the best in the business right now, so if anyone can do it, it's these two. Muggleton defensive on the way into that corner. Madison Down has a little bit of a look around the outside, can't quite complete a pass. 2 laps to go. There's still some good fights through the field. Brad Ryan holding down 6th, has got Wayne C. Burke putting pressure on him. That's for 6th and 7th place. So Wayne's been in the thick of the action all race long. Another good fight just behind that one. Wayne's Osram teammate Dean O'Brien holding down 8th. Mitch McLeod wants it though. 2 laps left to fight it out for these final positions. Back up the front though. Closer than ever.
Almost put the nose cone to the rear bumper there. A little bit of braille there just to let Muggleton know that Down's pretty keen to get the job done, but think big picture boys, the Tats.com boys want to bring home another 1-2, but what position will it be?
So here we go. This is the last lap of this race. It's Muggleton from Down. Down's putting the pressure on. He wants this win. He was closer than ever in that final corner. Yeah, I don't want to think about a bump and run, but looking out the back of Muggleton's car shows you just how close it is.
Muggleton's done a sensational job all race long to hold off Madison Down. The pressure's been there from the drop of the green flag. You got to think, barring any race, little mishap there, you think he's going to bring it home, but still half a lap to go, anything can happen.
Oh, we saw that last week, didn't we? These things are not over until the drivers take the checkered flag. Just a couple of corners left to run at the moment though, but we have seen drivers get it wrong so far, and we've seen Madison Down put massive pressure on. But over the flip-flop, up into the final corner, massive dive under brakes by Madison Down. He gets sideways. Muggleton's managed to hold on. He's going to cross the line.
He's made contact with the wall!
That's a victory at Oran Park for Josh Muggleton from his Tats.com teammate Madison Down. What a fantastic finish. Wow, Hampstead and Val Ritchie's round out the top 4 there. Josh Muggleton coming around to finish in position 5. Fantastic drive from him. Geez, what a race, Sandman.
Almost made a lunch of it there coming to the checkered flag, but a great result. Absolute pressure all the way to the end. Another 1-2 result there for Tats.com, and Muggo will be absolutely over the moon with that one.
Oh, that's awesome event. That's what we wanted to see, and we got it. Matthew Hill holds off Michael Strayer for 14th and 15th. There's still guys crossing the line now. There's fights all through this field. What an awesome race everywhere you looked. And our race winner on screen now, Josh Muggleton. Having a bit of fun out there, and Madison getting a bit excited as well, but that's another victory. What a perfect start to a season for Josh Muggleton. That's how you start your title defence.
Yeah, be fairly happy with that. 2 from 2. I know he wasn't exactly over the moon of winning last week due to the circumstances, but at the end of the day, a win's a win, and it's another Tats.com 1-2 between him and his teammate Madison Down.
Now, I tell you what, Muggleton must like this place because that actually makes it 3 wins now for him. Bit of a reverse burnout action. I haven't seen that before. It's obviously very excited to come away with a win, especially given the circumstances of last week.
So 3 wins for him and yet another P2 position for Madison Down.
Yeah, that's right. So there we go. Another event complete. Let's have a look at the results of this race. It was a Tats.com 1-2. Josh Muggleton scoring the victory from Madison Down. Richard Hampstead, Val Ritchie's, John Emerson rounding out the top 5. Then it was Brad Ryan with an excellent result there in position 6. Wayne Burke, Dean O'Brien and the Osram cars round out 7th and 8th. Mitch McLeod and Malik McMullen, your top 10. Then beyond that, Ian Ford, Tobias Cerny, Lee Ellis, Matthew Hill, Michael Schreier, Sam Collins, Bo Cattell, Richard Alwood and Phil Hobbs completed our finishes. And then we had a couple of cars with dramas, Chris Stone, Rob Hartley, Renz Brookman, Curtis Chipaway, Sean Kelly and Bo Cubis rounding out the 25. So that was all the action from the front, but Reece Gardner, what's happening in all the other events that we've got around tonight?
I've got your split 2 top 10 finishing order right here. Sanjin Delalic won the race. He's there doing victory burnouts at the last turn now. Dale Niche finished in 2nd. That's an Altitude Brian Volvo 1-2. Corey Preston finished 3rd. Paul Gallen in 4th. Jason Black in 5th. 6th was Nathan Bay. 7th was Jason Scandalera. 8th was the number 21 of Brian Godsall. Number 9 was Matthew Burnett. And number 10th, Michael Wilson. And I've just got the information now. Jay Kennedy, who I mentioned was in the 3rd split, I was right on that count. He's just confirmed it for me. Started 10th and finished 10th.
Thanks for that update, Reece.
Excellent, mate, of your work. Thanks for that. And, of course, thanks to Astro Gaming Headsets, because without them, all those race reports by Reece wouldn't be happening. So, brilliant effort, and it's good to hear what's going on throughout all the other divisions.
Yeah, man, wasn't that a brilliant event? That was what we wanted to see after Okayama, which was an exciting race in its own right, but this is what V8 Supercar racing is all about, just fierce, intense battles through the field, and there was nothing in it through a lot of these guys.
Yeah, plenty of great battles throughout the race, and of course the hard luck story goes to Renz Brookman. Renz did a sensational job, unfortunately made contact towards the end there, and unfortunately he had to have a drive-through penalty because of the damage and took him out of the race, but put him in 22nd position, unfortunately. So bad luck for him, but a sensational race to watch up front between the Tats.com boys.
Yeah, not wrong. It was an awesome event. Everywhere you look, there were fights all the way through the field. Now, we've got some of the drivers filtering into the commentary box now. Obviously, a very intense event. There might be a little bit of a debrief for some of them, but let's see who we've got here. We've got our winner, Josh Muggleton. Congratulations, Josh. How does that feel after last week?
Yeah, pretty good. Never disappointed with a win, so yeah, it always feels good.
It's been a perfect start to your title defence. 2 wins from 2 starts, and the circumstances for this one held off fantastic pressure from your teammate. Congratulations, and you must really like this place. This is 3 wins now for you at Oran Park.
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah, and carbon copy of last season's race here with Madison on my bumper the whole way. He put some good pressure on and it made me work for it, even with a couple of Lounsey hits in there mid-corner. So, yeah, no, he made me work for it.
It was brilliant to watch, mate. You guys are starting to make a bit of a habit of this at Tats.com 1-2, but no doubt old Madison will be getting jack of it going your way instead of his.
Yeah, he'd probably like he definitely would like the roles reverse, and I'd probably like a bit more of a gap between us. So, yeah, no, swings and roundabouts, I suppose.
As we said, brilliant start to your title defence. Congratulations, Josh. Winner 2 from 2, winner at Oran Park. Congratulations, buddy.
Cheers, buddy. Thank you.
Now, we've also got 2nd place finisher, Madison Down. Congratulations, Mads. No, good to see you on the podium again, but this is now 4 second places at Oran Park in a row for you.
Yeah, I really, really love Oran Park. I just can't crack a win here. The only thing I had any kind of success in at Oran Park was the race to reality. Grabbed a few wins there, but otherwise at Oran Park, I just can't quite get the job done. But absolutely awesome race again. It was pretty much a carbon copy of last season, just a sprint race instead of a pit stop one. But yeah, great job to Muggo. Awesome to get a Tats.com 1-2 once again. Definitely like the roles reversed though.
We saw you putting massive pressure on your teammate throughout the second half of that race. You guys were just bumper to bumper the whole way through, and you were looking really racy towards the end, though. But it's just so hard to pass around here, isn't it?
Yeah, it sure is. I knew that it was going to require a mistake from Muggo, and that doesn't tend to happen in this series too much, unfortunately. Guys, no matter how close, no matter how many times you give them a serve into the corner, it doesn't really force a mistake. People are so good under pressure. So great job to Muggo. Made it difficult for me and won the race. Definitely got the job done.
Mate, well done on tonight's result. Sensational. Tats.com 1-2. Good result for TTR. And hats off to you guys too, because the one thing that some people probably think is between teammates, sometimes you'll probably think there might be a bit of team orders. And the one thing that I love and respect about you guys and at TTR, there's no team orders. You guys race as hard as you can to the checkered flag, and that puts on a great result for everyone watching.
Yeah, for sure. There never has been really, and we race as hard as we can. Obviously, with basically two number one drivers in the team, like we have especially in the Tats cars. Anyway, yeah, you can't really have team orders. You got two guys that want to win the championship and have got the pace to do so. So it'd be unfair to, set the race up and match fix it, I suppose. So no, it's great. I really enjoy racing Muggo. He, always puts on a great race, and there's never any carnage or anything like that. You can trust him. So it's great fun.
Yeah, well done, mate. We'll move on now to Richard Hampstead, who rounded out the podium in position 3. Great job there, Richard. That was an intense little fight for you. Bit of an exciting run.
Yeah, thanks. I was all over the back of Madison early on, but yeah, just couldn't get anywhere near him, and then made a few mistakes. Almost ran into the back of him at turn 2, and then I don't know. I was just chasing him down, but not really making much progress, and had a bit of a battle with Renz there. And then I think I had a half spin at turn 2, and yeah, no, not really a good race for me. The car's just too knife edge to drive, and yeah, I got lucky coming in third with Renz making a bit of a mistake there, but yeah, well done to the Tats guys.
Yeah, you and Brookman had a fantastic fight, and it was also just a great indication of how tough this racetrack is. Even though you did manage to come away with that third place, it didn't look easy by any stretch, was it?
Yeah, no, it was really, really difficult trying to follow in the draft. It really takes away a fair bit of your front downforce, so yeah, no, pretty tricky race.
With that, though, a podium is still a podium. And you missed out on the first round. You're going to be back with us at Road Atlanta next week?
Yeah, should just to be about good for the rest of the season from now, so yeah.
Excellent. Looking forward to it. Now, who else have we got in the box here? We've got... why don't we move on to... what have we got? Wayne Burke. Wayne, you had a strong run in 7th position. You've got a lot of exciting action, a lot of big fights. How was the race for you?
Yeah, it was pretty exciting. Like, I started 14th and just not as far up as I wanted to, but yeah, I passed a lot of cars and had a really good battle with Brad the whole race. It was a lot of fun, and just one small mistake coming in the final turn and probably cost me 6th spot. But no, it was a good race. We did pretty good. The Osram car was pretty good today.
Yeah, saw a lot of you and your teammate Dino O'Brien running strong together. Always good when you see team cars fighting hard like you guys were. But you were really in the thick of the action. It's a tough place to pass, but you did well to come through the field like you did.
Yeah, I knew I had to get as many early as I could, because like when everyone's on sort of cold tyres and everyone's a bit itchy at the start, so that's where you got to do the most passing, and that's what I sort of did. And that was good. And then a couple of people fell off in front of me, which made life a bit easier for me.
Yeah, always good to be able to capitalise on others' mistakes.
And a great battle, mate, between you and your teammate. That was sensational to watch, and you guys are starting to make a bit of a habit as the Tats boys are too. It's been good racing the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, I know. It's just been nice if we were battling for first and second as well as the Tats boys, but maybe one day. But it's good racing against Dino. Like, we both come from go-karts, so we sort of got very good racecraft between us. So yeah, but it's always going to be clean.
Yeah, great finish, mate. And speaking of, we'll move on to Dino O'Brien. Another excellent run, Dean. 8th position for you. How did you find the race?
Yeah, it's a good solid top 10 again for this week, but I was hoping for a little bit more, but few too many mistakes, and yeah, it cost me a good top 5, I think.
You're
It's a tricky. Sorry, mate.
continue on, Sam, man.
I was going to say it's a tricky racetrack, and when you find yourself tucked up behind each other, and when you guys are battling it out, sometimes it's easy to miss your break and marker and have a bit of a whoopsie. But you guys are really battling it out, and like I said to Wayne, it was really good to watch.
Yeah, I just outbroke myself into the first corner, on the third lap, I think it was, and it just pretty much went downhill from there. But once I got back on, yeah, me and Berkey were pretty close, but yeah, just another solid top 10. The car was really good, and just like to thank Osram and all the Multi-21 Racing Sim boys. We do a great job, and we're slowly getting there.
Yeah, that team of yours is slowly making strides forward. Both the cars look fantastic. Do you think that there's you've got more in store for us later in the season?
Oh, I think so. We've shown pretty good pace lately, and slowly working our way towards the top. A solid top 5 qualifying this week, and it's pretty close. And I edged out a few people I didn't think I would, and yeah, we're certainly coming.
Yeah, good effort, mate. It's what we like to see. Now, driver who completed the race in 10th position, that was Marlon McMullen. You were in the middle of a lot of really thick fights yourself, Marlon. How did you find the race?
I'm trying to put together the start. All I knew all of a sudden was I got tapped off the ground, and I'm happy to finish 10th in the end. I'm not sure exactly what happened, but we had a pretty good race. I had a little bit of damage after the initial first laps. You guys started falling off, and we took capitalise on it. Me and Tobias together, working as a team, and eventually I had a good run with Lee coming up towards the midpoint of the race, and did a really good crisscross on him. I'm quite proud of that one, actually. And then we had a battle with Ian later, and that was one of the best battles I think I've ever had around that track. We were side by side for half the lap. So kudos to Ian for the clean driving. Thanks for that, mate. And yeah, we just put it together in the end and came home in 10th, thankfully.
Yeah, we saw a lot of really thick fights all the way through the field. Didn't really matter where you looked, and it seemed there was always something going on. And pretty strong run from yourself. You did manage to make up a couple of positions. I think you started in about 16th, and moving forwards to your 10th position is got to be happy with that.
Oh yeah, most certainly. I mean, as I said to the boys earlier, it's not really about having the speed. If you're fast, I mean, it's one thing, but you got to keep it on the track and just stay out of the trouble. And it's all about mistake limitation at the end of the day. And we tried to do that. It was a little bit. The start wasn't the way they wanted it to go, but came back in the end very strong. So I'm quite happy with that.
Now, another driver that we saw a lot of tonight, Ian Ford. Ian, you had a lot of really intense battles, but despite all of that, it seems like you didn't really manage to move forward a whole lot. How was the race for you?
It went pretty good in the packaging of More Falcon tonight. Just had a lot of rear wheel issues, and the hit with Lee around the start of the race didn't help at all.
Yeah, starting from 12th and finishing in 11th, but it seemed like you made up a lot more positions than that. I'm sure that you were passing and being passed all the time. It's just the nature of this racetrack, but still a fantastic run for you.
Oh, that's it. I'd like to break the top 10 next week, and hopefully we get there. And big thanks to Marlon for clean racing. Definitely the hardest race I've done in ages.
Yeah, it doesn't look easy from here. Definitely looked exciting though, so well done, mate.
Thank you.
And we've also got here Tobias Cerny. Tobias, how was your race, mate? You managed to move up a couple of spots, finished in position 12. Happy with that?
Yeah, hello guys. Yeah, was an interesting race. Unfortunately, we had this small problems in turn 1, as Marlon said, and we lost. I think we both lost 2-3 spots then. But then from then it went pretty much good forward, and yeah, my tires were a little bit bad towards the end, so I was a little bit slower than I could probably. But next week I'm aiming for top 10 again. Yeah.
How's your preparation coming into this week, mate? I know it's a couple of our favourites having a homegrown Aussie track in the game, but how was your preparation leading up to qualifying in the race, mate, heading to Oran Park?
Yeah, the qualification was difficult. It took me a while to get a good setup and get used to the track again. This was then on Friday evening I made my quali lap, and on Saturday, Sunday I wasn't here at all, so I had to do some laps this morning to get used to it again, and so that's why I'm pretty happy with the result, considering the fact that I had no laps yesterday.
Do you find having the support of a new team has been able to help you in your preparations, Tobias?
Yeah, definitely, and also some team communication during the race, something that I'm not used to since I was always driving alone here in Top Split. But now with Powerbond Racing, pretty happy with it, and looking forward to some more awesome races and battles together with Marlon.
Well, good stuff, mate. Hoping that it pays off for you for the rest of the season. Now we've also got
so.
here in the box Lee Ellis. Lee, you had a bit of an interesting race on your hands. Seems like you weren't really comfortable with the car. We heard. How'd your race go?
Horrible. After the incident between me and John, the tires were shot. I used my 2-foot magic save hacks quite a lot of times, and just couldn't get the car back, and then hit the wall with about 15, 20 laps to go, and driving steering damage, let a few people past, and just wanted the race to be over.
You touched on you were struggling probably a little bit this week with this circuit. Is that more you didn't quite nail the setup, or you're just not a big fan of Oran Park?
Bit of both. It's a different sort of setup we're using than what we have been using in the past. Just in a few weird characteristics to it in the front end for me, anyway. And Oran Park, I'm not a huge fan of it, but I seem to always nail qualifying, being the top 10, and lose out in the races. But and sorry to Bo Cattell, he cut across me and I turned him accidentally, so sorry about that.
Yeah, it's a tricky little place, Lee. Did hear a lot that it was going to be very hard on the tyres, and unfortunately you were the one that was best able to show us that.
Yeah, well, it's good to demonstrate a few things, but I'd rather not next time.
Back strong next week for Road Atlanta, though?
Yeah, I love Road Atlanta. I've done many a lap there, so hopefully I can nail a set and not run into the wall this time.
Good stuff, mate. We're looking forward to that then.
Cheers.
And also we've got here Bo Cattell. Bo, you managed to get across the line in 17th place. How was the race for yourself? It looked like you were pretty busy out there.
Yeah, it wasn't the best. Ended up facing the wrong way at turn 1 and sort of tried to make my way back up from there, but ended up tapping a wall and just getting involved with battles down the back. So it wasn't a very good one, but the car was awesome. The team came up with a great setup this week, so Multi 21 are doing well, which is good.
But it's easy to do sometimes the contact around here. We saw, unfortunately, that Ren's at a moment made contact with the wall and had pretty hard damage. But it doesn't take much actually around here to put a tyre off or just lose a bit of concentration and have that damage.
No, especially around the last corner. You're trying to get a run on someone and you step the back out and tap the wall, and that was it. I was sort of fighting a sick car after that. But look, I got to be happy with passing 4 or 5 cars from being at the back, so can't really complain too much.
Yeah, it was some exciting battles that we saw all throughout the race there, Bo, and you were in the thick of a lot of it. It was good to see you make up some ground from where you were at the start. But well done, mate. Looking forward to next week, I hope.
Yeah, no, it'd be good to get back to Road Atlanta. I haven't been there for a while, so keen as.
Yeah, well, we're all looking forward to it here at V8's Online. I think that about wraps it up for all of the drivers that we had to talk to. I don't think I missed anyone, have I? But fantastic race, all of you. Very exciting to watch. And congratulations to our podium. Congratulations to Josh Muggleton, our winner for this event. So what do you think, Sandman? That was exactly what we wanted to see. Couldn't have asked for much more than that. And roll on Road Atlanta.
Mate, you're not wrong. The boys have got their work cut out for them. 45 laps at Road Atlanta next week. So no doubt we'll see a thrilling race as it has been the last couple of weeks and as it has been the last couple of seasons. A brilliant effort between the Tats.com boys. Those TTR boys have really been mixing it up and nice little battle between themselves and really good to watch. So bring on next week. I can't wait. Yeah, definitely. It's a favourite track for drivers and for spectators. Looking forward to that event, and this has been a brilliant season so far. V8's Online, V8 Supercar Racing here at iRacing just keeps getting better and better, so looking forward to whatever the future has got for us. So thanks for watching, everybody. Hope you enjoyed. This is V8's Online with support from V8 Supercar Fan Group, Direct Clutch Services, and the V8's Online Superstore. We're coming to you tonight from Oran Park, and our winner for this round, Josh Muggleton.